It's another DIY Sprinter van build day. Today is day 52 if you guys are following along. And yesterday we cut a bunch of wood and we started building the upper cabinets in our van. And it came out really awesome. That was the last thing I left off. I cut a few more pieces of wood to assemble the upper cabinets for the kitchen area. That's gonna go right here. And the base cabinet, the side pieces. So I'm gonna start on working on that today. Assemble the upper cabinets and then we will do the base cabinet. So let's get started. The upper cabinet assembly is pretty simple, like the one that we did yesterday. Just three sides, or two sides, one in the middle, a bottom piece, and three supporting beams that's gonna hang onto the furring strip. Let's drill some pocket holes on these and let's assemble it. It's really starting to look like a camper van now that the cabinets are starting to go in. Once the kitchen side is done, most of the cabinets are going to be completed. Obviously, we still need to build the drawers, the face plates, all that stuff. That'll come in time, but the overall structure of the layout will be complete once these are done. So we might actually have that done by the end of today if I can get these assembled, attached, and the baseboards for the base cabinet put together. So let's see. Okay, I am done with the kitchen upper cabinet. The construction of this is a little bit different than the other one, just because the back here is gonna stick out to the sliding door. So instead of just adding like a beam here, I need to add a backing here to make it look really nice. So I had to do it inside the frame rather than like having it stick out. So I had to cut multiple pieces to fit between these two, the center piece here. But it came out really good. This is really sturdy, just like this. And we can actually even get it mounted, or at least I'm gonna test it first. I might need Rena's help to get this thing fully mounted, but let's try it out. Okay, here we are. Let's see how this fits. It's gonna go up against the, ooh, this is nice. Okay, it came out perfect. Okay. Yeah, these are gonna get attached to the back here. And a bit of backing is gonna be needed for here, because this is gonna be exposed by the sliding door here. So we'll make it nice, but it looks really nice. Yeah, that looks really nice. Oh yeah. Okay. All right, I'm gonna sand this down and I might attempt to attach this myself, but let's first sand it down. Okay. I'm gonna use the brad nailers to help me hold it in place, and then I will screw it in place afterwards. Okay. Okay, get it in position where it needs to go. Right here. Okay. Okay. Okay, that's in place. Okay. And I will use the construction screws to mount this. Looking pretty good. All right, this is pretty much mounted. All right, I'm just gonna put screws all around into the furring strip, and that will keep it nice and tight right up here. This kitchen upper cabinet is looking real nice. Very spacious too. There's a lot of space for storing things. We're thinking maybe the plates are gonna be right here because we got the dishwasher down here. So yeah, I think this is a good place for it. I use 1/2-inch ply to create the entire cabinet. There's a little bit of a bend in the middle here. The last van we used 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch. Those are a little bit thicker. There's not much of a bend in the middle, but we're not gonna put anything that's too heavy, especially up here in the upper cabinet. But a lot of space though. It's looking really, really nice. Yeah, having these upper cabinets here, this one is really starting to look like a home, right? What do you guys think? Looks good, right? Now that we're done with the upper cabinets, let's move on to building the base cabinet. I got 3 pieces of the sides, one on the side, one in the middle, and one on the far end here. This is going to be for the kitchen, dishwasher, and the stove. Let's start with the smaller short pieces first, and then we'll move on to this big piece because that's one of the more complicated pieces. So last night I was coming up with different ways to put this base cabinet together, and how I put it together really affects the usability of the entire cabinet, because if I attach a stud on the front end of it where the faceplate is, then I can't access that area. And I'm thinking of adding like a little, I don't know what you call those, like a little dish sponge drawer that kind of pulls out right in front of the sink. So we will plan on adding that to the top area. And then the back area, there's a little bit of a curve on the van that might interfere with this being very straight. So I gotta modify that based on how that van layout is on the back there. And then also in the back, we need to build a propane tank storage. So I'm just trying to finagle everything into this base cabinet here and find the most efficient way of building it. But one thing we'll start with is to create a toe kick. A toe kick here. About, what am I gonna do? 4 inches? A 4-inch high toe kick, and there might be some toe kick storage as well. So that's gonna be part of this build. Let's get started. Let's measure out the toe kick. So it's gonna be 3 inches deep by, I'm thinking 4.5 inches or 5. Because I do want to put some storage underneath here. So you want to have enough room for a nice sized drawer. Let's do 5 inches. Next, I gotta cut the support beams to assemble the base cabinet here. And the length of the support beam is gonna be determined by the width of the dishwasher and sink. I gotta find out what that exact dimension is, because everything I do here is very exact, or as close to it as possible, because we don't really have that much room. So whatever that depth is, I want it to be sort of exactly that. Otherwise, the base cabinet would stick out way too much into like the sliding door area, and it'll block it too. So let me figure out what that dimension is, and I will cut some support beams. So the dimension of the sink and dishwasher, the built-in dimension, which is where the opening of what the appliance is going to fit, is 33 and 11/16, but the actual dimension is 35 and a quarter. So I will do 37 inches, just to give me about 1.75 inches of margin of error. That way I can kind of adjust it a little left, a little right, depending on kind of how it actually ends up looking like. So we got about 1 inch, about 2 inches of margin of error with this. And by cutting a 37-inch long board, it's actually going to give me a little bit more because of the depth of these two boards here, which is going to add 1.5 inches to it. So it's going to give me 38.5 total if I do it this way. All right. This piece that I have cut here is the bottom piece of the cabinet. I'm reserving a 14 by 14 section for the propane closet or propane locker. I almost want to cut this section out to make even more room, because it's going to be really tight based on the dimension of what a propane tank is at, a 20-pound one. It's going to be 17.75 inches high, which is right on where the sink is going to end. So depending on how to get the fittings on the drainage there, I don't know if I'm going to have enough room, but hopefully I am. But if not, then I can literally cut out this entire section and go down as much as I can to fit that height of 17.75 inch propane tank. But just marking it down for now, and we'll see what we do with this. Let me punch some pocket holes on the cross beams there, and we'll try to get this thing installed. These are the two side pieces. One is going to go along this wall here, and one is going to go right here. This is the part that I was talking about that has a bit of a curvature. So I think I need to scribe something and cut this out to get this to fit, because I think this is where this side is going to end up being with 37. But let's see. This is the bottom piece. Sorry. Okay, this is the piece that's gonna keep everything in place on the bottom end of it. This is gonna go right here. Go right here. Yeah, you see, this is blocking it. All right, I guess I'm gonna scribe this and then make the cutout on the back end. That should be okay. Let's try this again. Okay, so I'm just using this little tool that I made, the screwdriver and a pencil, to get the scribing done. Yeah, we just got to get the general shape of it. Let's cut out this scribe. Now that I got the general shape of the curve here, let me match it over into the board here, trace it, and make that cutout. I'm not really able to get a good scribe from this piece of paper. It's kind of flimsy, so I'm going to do it again using a piece of wood, because this is a pretty important cut. I want to make it good. Got the new scribe. Let's cut it out. It looks pretty good, but I am not 100% sure, but I think I'm just going to go for it. So I actually made a little bit of a mistake, a little miscalculation. Let me show you guys. The cutting was good, but the problem is, because there's a slight tilt on the Sprinter van here, I'm trying to cut it for making it as sleek to the wall as possible, which actually means that I have to cut off part of this top here to account for the curvature. But the problem is, I measured this top here for the width or the depth of the dishwasher. So I actually can't cut into it, otherwise the dishwasher isn't gonna fit. Which means that I actually need to have the cabinet come out a little bit, this being the starting point, and then the bottom will sort of stick out a little bit, which would be the curvature, unless I account for that curvature and make this even bigger. This is a 21-inch width, but if I were to put it all the way in and cut it to be part of this curvature here, then I'm losing maybe like 2 inches, an inch and a half perhaps, which will make the dishwasher not fit. So either I redo it, the two big pieces, the two side pieces, or I just have it come out like this and have a little bit of a big gap in the back here, which you won't be able to see because the backing of it, there'll be a backing piece that's gonna block it. It's just that this piece here internally will look kind of wonky. With that being said, I probably didn't need to make that cut, because it's almost better that it sticks out a little bit. Maybe a little bit of a cut, but I didn't need to make this much of a cut. Whew. Yeah. I think I'll make a new piece. I think that's probably a little bit better. And just move the entire cabinet out so the top part of it touches the wall. Let me think about it for a few minutes. But I think that's going to be it for today. It's almost time for dinner. It's getting dark now. So a little bit more planning, and we'll finish this up maybe tomorrow. Alright guys, that is it for today's video. We got done with dinner. Spencer and Rena, they're hanging out in the living room. And tomorrow, I'm going to figure out how to get that base cabinet installed. Once that's in, then we are almost there. We're almost done with installing or building the cabinets. So, if you guys want to keep following our DIY Sprinter van build, hit that subscribe button so you get notified when the new videos come out. And if you enjoy watching this video, smash that like button so that it can spread out to more people. We really appreciate you guys watching. We'll catch you guys on the next video. Bye-bye.